The sharp crack of gunfire shattered the midnight quiet, jolting me out of the kind of half-sleep where every sound feels dangerous. I grabbed my phone with shaking hands, heart racing, thinking maybe it was a nightmare. Except I heard the back door creak and found my 17-year-old son, Logan, in his room, hunched at the window, our old hunting rifle still trembling in his grip. "Mom, I shot at that weird old guy's place," he whispered, his voice all knotted up with fear and something else, regret, maybe. The glow from the neighbor's security lights flickered through the trees, painting him in blue and gold, and I just knew this wasn't some dumb teenage prank. You ever get that feeling, like the bottom's dropping out from under you? Yeah, that's where I was, trying to read my son's face, but he wouldn't look at me. He stared at the floor, shoulders caved in, just like he used to when he broke Grandma's vase or got caught hacking the school's Wi-Fi. I wanted to yell, to demand answers, but the fear in his eyes stopped me cold. 3 hours later, the driveway filled up with black SUVs, their engines still ticking as 2 FBI agents strode up our steps. Agent Morrison, all business, held up her badge and dropped the bomb. "Mrs. Mitchell, your son targeted the cabin of General Wesley Cade, a decorated 4-star officer. That property's a federal evidence storage facility." She scrolled through thermal footage on her tablet, showing Logan, clear as day, aiming for what felt like forever before pulling the trigger. No accident. She said they'd found traces of military-grade wiping software on Logan's laptop, used just 2 days before the shooting, and asked me straight-faced if I'd noticed anything unusual about my son's behavior. Let me back up a sec. My son, the same kid who dreamed about MIT, who'd rather code than go fishing, was now being painted as some kind of domestic terrorist. My world spun. Then Morrison slid an envelope across the table. Inside, a bullet, wrapped in a sheet of paper covered in Morse code. We translated it on her phone. The message: child being controlled. Check web history. 72 hours to find the real perpetrator. Cade knew Logan was a pawn. He was giving us 3 days to find whoever had set this up. You know what? I wasn't about to let my boy go down for something he didn't fully understand. I called in the only friend I could trust, Jeffrey Stone, an old-school digital forensics guy I'd met back in my reporting days. He drove all night and showed up at sunrise, trailing wires and laptops like some kind of tech wizard. "If someone's pulling your son's strings, I'll find it," he promised. Within hours, Jeffrey dug up evidence on our kitchen table that made my stomach twist. Logan had been on the dark web. Yeah, the real one, bouncing through military proxies, and someone had uploaded a video of him at 13 causing a car accident. Sealed records. Juvenile court. Suddenly, it clicked. Blackmail. Whoever had that video had been threatening him for weeks, pushing him to do just one mission at Cade's cabin. The threats came from Black Raven Security, a contractor so shady it made my skin crawl. Jeffrey showed me a web of digital trails, all leading back to government agencies who wanted things off the books. My son was being used to trigger Cade's security system, and we weren't the only targets. Logan said, "Mom, they said they have info on other kids too, in different states." That broke something in me. We weren't just fighting for ourselves. The next message came in at 2 a.m., an untraceable number, promising disaster if Logan didn't keep quiet. Now we were at war. Jeffrey pulled all-nighters, mapping Black Raven's network, uncovering files on at least 73 families across 12 states. Each one targeted, each with a secret. Kids forced to hack corporations, plant surveillance, photograph classified documents. This was industrial-scale psychological warfare, run like a Black Ops campaign. I dug deep, using every bit of my old journalist instincts, freedom of information requests, encrypted backups, legal threats. I met with Cade himself at his cabin, which turned out to be a fortified bunker lined with servers, hard evidence of crimes so massive it took my breath away. He looked at me, eyes sharp despite the years. "Mrs. Mitchell, I was ordered to eliminate 3 journalists in Syria, including your husband, David. But I couldn't do it. I helped him fake his death." He handed me photos. David, alive in Vancouver, hair and face changed, hiding from the woman behind it all, CIA Director Evelyn Hart. My knees nearly gave out. Cade had been protecting a mountain of evidence. War crimes, weapons trafficking, billions laundered, assassinations made to look like accidents. Hart wanted it all erased. Black Raven's mission for Logan was designed to set off Cade's purge protocol, wiping every file. Instead, Cade saw the setup, sent the Morse code, and gambled on us fighting back. We set our own trap. Logan, terrified but brave, sent a message through Black Raven's channels, pretending to crack, to be ready for another job. The bait worked. The next assignment? Plant a bug at the house of Senator Patricia Williams, head of the Intelligence Oversight Committee, someone who'd been digging into black budgets. Suddenly, it was clear they were using kids as tools to control the powerful and destroy the inconvenient. Then came the twist. David, my not-so-dead husband, walked straight out of the woods as Black Raven's kill team closed in, holding the ultimate dead man's switch. All the files, ready for instant global release if anything happened to us. He called Hart out, loud enough for her operatives' mics to catch every word. Cade broadcast an emergency alert over secure military channels, drawing the eyes of Congress, the Pentagon, and the press in one electric instant. The assault on Cade's bunker turned into a siege. News choppers overhead, FBI agents swarming in, congressional aides whispering that David's survival was a protected witness secret at the highest level. They arrested Hart's field teams in real time. Senator Williams swept in, announcing Hart's arrest live, thanking us for exposing what she called the deepest rot in our constitutional history. But just as we caught our breath, Jeffrey intercepted plans for Operation Clean Slate, a mass assassination, all 73 targeted families set up for accidents, with blame pinned on some made-up domestic terror group. We went public, fast. Live TV. I faced Anderson Cooper with stacks of evidence, receipts, bank records. No conspiracy, just facts. Other families started coming forward. Logan, who'd been humiliated online, branded a deep state puppet, stood tall and told the world what had happened to him, and how many others were caught in the same trap. Hart's allies unleashed every dirty trick, bots, memes, character assassinations, but the truth kept spreading. Testifying before Congress, Logan revealed everything. How Black Raven had worked, the manipulation, the threats, the plan for mass murder. David explained the full reach of Hart's network, $50 billion in arms sales, assassinations, surveillance, and blackmail. Cade laid out the military records, the chain of command, the secret funding, enough to shake the room. FBI agents arrested Hart's last supporters right there. All across the country, Black Raven facilities were raided, families rescued, evidence secured. For a moment, as the dust settled, I felt a strange satisfaction, a sense of justice, finally. But this isn't a fairy tale. 1 year later, our family lives in a federal safe house. Logan, now at MIT, speaks out for kids manipulated by shadowy powers. David wrote a best-selling book. Cade works to keep government transparent. I serve on a commission to reform intelligence oversight. Hart and her closest allies got life in prison. Black Raven Security is no more. Its money turned over to the victims. But you know what sticks with me? When Logan fired that shot, none of us knew how deep this hole went or how many lives would be changed. Sometimes, it takes a crisis to show you who you really are. I hope our story reminds you, when you see injustice, when someone tries to twist the truth for power, you can fight back. Ordinary families can make a difference. So let me leave you with this. Was it justice or just survival? What would you have done in our shoes? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think a shadow government could ever really exist in America? Or is this all too wild to be true? And if you believe in standing up for what's right, share your story. Let's keep the conversation going, because the only way democracy survives is if ordinary people refuse to stay silent.